can't be bought or sold. Why do they hide the ball? The lies which are spoken and stories told will be their downfall. On the road, traveling for truth, a journey unknown. From ocean sides to the center lines, we'll find the answers never shown. Never shown.
Shadows loom, we plant a seed. The sun comes up and the flowers bloom. Truth shall be freed. A journey unknown. From ocean sides to the center lines, we'll find the answers never
All right, everybody, welcome to another Crimes After Dark. And I hope you enjoyed the montage that we put together with a couple of great songs from Cat Farm. We played those songs before to different drive footage, but that kicks ass. Like that just kicks ass. Every time I hear those songs, I'm in the mood to go. So look, we got some missing family today, but we've got a good show ahead of it. We're going to just play it by ear, off the cuff. It seems to be the better show. Somebody asked earlier if we were going to drop some of the swear words because we're going early. Sorry, no, that's just the way I am, and I appreciate that we might, but you know, it was still late for the East Coasters. It's just those West Coast people that need to worry about getting the young ones to wait. However, we will slow down on the F-bombs a little bit, and we'll definitely try to slow down on swear words until the monologue's done. So those of you who know the routine, you know that we have a monologue. That's still planned, and we try to keep things a little less edgy until we get past the monologue. So this is your fair warning. It's not a kid's show. It's not a family show. This is Crimes After Dark, and we take it pretty freaking seriously, and we talk like adults. So we'll say all those words other people are afraid to say sometimes. Anyways, enough talking from me. Let's get Dago on because he's the first one backstage. Dago, how you doing?
I am good. How are you this evening? Whoa.
Did you just literally finish up a phone call like a second before you came on screen? Or
Yeah.
That's awesome. I didn't even give you a warning. Or you're up. Let's go.
It's all good. It's all good.
So you did not have a live today? Is that what I heard? Or
No. No.
Oh,
I do
all right, well,
every now and then I'll take a day off. It's
that's
rare.
not acceptable. Yeah.
I know. I've been told that by others. But I had a bunch of stuff I had to do around
Fair.
here, and I needed to get caught up on all that fun stuff. But yeah. So
Well, then you can't tell me much about what's happening on your side of the thing. Although
sure.
that image that you showed, do we want to show that image, or do we want to save that for?
I found a photograph. Busy.
Right.
Yeah, I can show you an actual Brian Koberger in the wild photograph, folks. And it's wild. I'll tell you that much. Busy found it today as she was out there researching because I have the best mods ever.
Right. Well, okay.
I
can't say right. We've got great mods too.
We all do. We all
yeah,
do.
right.
Yes, we have the most amazing mods ever. All right, guys. So,
And when you say we, it's like the royal we. It's like all of us. All of us have.
We all.
the best mods.
Logan, the advocates, the meatballs. We're all best mods ever. So this is a photograph of Brian Koberger in the wild. Obviously, this is how.
Oh yes, yes.
And she has a secondary one too of him on a zip line, which makes sense. It makes perfect sense now. I think I know.
No footprints.
I think we solved the case right here. So thank you, Fizzy, for putting this out there. Because this is how this makes sense, guys. Honestly. So there it is.
Well, there you go. That does make all the sense. I appreciate you sharing that with me. And thanks
very much so.
Thanks for coming on. And I feel like did we just drop somebody? If no, we seem to have the same number of panelists for some. Because I dropped your video. Never mind.
We're good.
Whatever. Let's just do it live. We'll do it live.
Do it live.
Robin, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you guys? Oh my God, that picture just cracks me up. Oh, that's great. Way to go, Fizzy Cakes. That's awesome.
Yeah, Fizzy's awesome.
I'm super excited. By the way, for those who don't know, I get a little bit of echo, by the way, in somebody's
I'm looking right now.
But for those who don't know, I almost had Robin out boots on the ground today. She had to postpone it a couple of days, but I'm so excited because I want to wait. I need to wait, but I'm waiting for two things before I reveal a big reveal to people who have been following me and the Brent Kopaka story. I've got a big reveal coming, but it's going to require me to do one piece of verifying that I have left to do, and some boots on the ground from Robin, and then hopefully we'll have some special things to share with you on that front. Other than that, how are things going, Robin? Did you have a good day today?
Yes, we did. It was a very good day, and yes, we are looking very forward to doing our boots on the ground on Wednesday. So looking to gather some information there. So that's going to be very exciting. So
I am very excited. I
Yes, me too.
you know how excited I like I'm so close to being able to say neener, bite my freaking wiener, because I've been trying to prove something, and I feel so close. I may be able to prove something that I've been
Well,
saying
I
for a
will
year, but I haven't been
certainly
able
do
to
my
prove.
best to help
Yeah.
with. Um,
So we're gonna see if we can pull that off together and make it a good reveal. So,
yep.
anyways, you ready to go for the show tonight?
I am. It's going to be a good one. We never lack for things to talk about, so I'm sure we'll get into some good shit. So,
Getting into the good shit. All right, let's get
yeah.
1-1 on stage. What's going on, 1-1?
Hello. How's everyone?
Welcome.
Hello.
Good to see you.
Hello.
So, what's
Good.
the news in your world today?
That sounded like a
you just
bullfrog
sounded like
burp.
it belched. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Am I answering to God there? What?
it felt like it.
You will listen to me.
Yeah.
Get down on your hands and knees.
You're reminding
You're-
me. I can't remember the name of that movie. I'm so bad. I give you guys movie quotes, and I'm like horrible with naming it. You know that there's like a movie that's at college, and these guys are making like a laser.
Real genius.
Yes.
yeah,
That's
real
it.
genius.
And
Kelly-
remember, and like
Kelly,
part
who
of
was
it, the
the
guy's
chick?
like they're trying to like there's one part of the movie where the guy pretends to be like God. He's like, I'm God.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yes, Real Genius. Val Kilmer. It was a great movie.
Great movie.
Oh man, I'm trying.
That picture was
Who-
great, Dago, and I wanted to just showcase this. I was actually thinking of this comment before you wrote it. So Becca 1019, that is hysterical. I was thinking the exact same thing. We need a
Magic
little
carpet.
cartoon photo of Brian on a magic carpet because there's no footprints. So
Well, I told Fizzy, I said, you need to go find one of him levitating because,
yes,
that's how he
Wait,
did it.
Yep.
Speaking of that, real quick, I mean, I know we got a monologue coming up, but speaking of
Yeah.
the latent shoe print, right? So, did it just okay? So we've made a big deal. There was a footprint left behind. There was a latent shoe print outside of
Right.
Dylan's room, right?
Yeah.
And so
Yes.
they've grabbed Koberger's shoes. They've tried to hint and say Koberger wore a similar style shoe, but they've never said it's Koberger's shoe print. Did they
Size
ever
12.
try to? Right?
Yeah,
Did
'cause
they?
it doesn't
Because the
match.
size is
It-
wrong. Right.
Right.
And it's funny
Of
because
course, of course.
they left in the public the narrative that he wears that kind
Yeah.
of shoe and there's
Yep.
a shoe print to make you think his shoe print's there, but it's the wrong
Right.
freaking size, and they just
Right,
don't.
of course.
They fucking failed to tell you that. I said I was going to stop the F-bombs until after
The whole damn
Yeah.
campus wears that damn shoe. Okay.
Right.
Right.
They even
Yeah.
have slides
They're
and
popular
sandals and
too.
slippers.
Yeah.
All right, I digress. It's up for you for a monologue, unless you have something
All
else you want to
right.
share with us today.
No. All right. Is it good to be alive in the den on Monday night?
Always.
Yes, it
Juliana?
is.
Jackson and my beautiful wife. Love you guys. Turn the lights down, not all the way, just enough, so the shadows can start to breathe. Because some stories don't want to be told. They linger in half-finished sentences, in missing minutes, in the quiet spaces between what we're told and what actually happened. And tonight, we're not here for comfort. We're here for that feeling in your gut, the one that tells you something isn't right. Listen closely, because the truth, it doesn't announce itself. It hides in tone and hesitation, in the things people almost say, but don't. And that's where we live. Boss Lee, steady voice, controlled, measured, but always watching. JJ, state of the deep, not skimming the surface. He thinks. 1-1, king of the clips, frame by frame, pause, rewind. Again. Robin, queen on the scene, reading the room. What people don't say echoes louder. Dago, True Crime Cafe. This isn't casual conversation. This is where theories get tested. And Logan, Bronx Tales True Crime, raw, direct, no filter. This isn't a show. It's a slow unraveling. We don't accept the narrative. We pressure it. And when it falls apart, that's when things get interesting. Stay quiet, listen carefully, and don't look away. Because once you see it, you don't unsee it. This is Devil's Advocates. And with that, live from New York, it's Monday night.
All right. Well, I'm super excited to kick this sucker off. I just, I want to back up again for a moment and just reflect off the top of my head. I haven't planned show notes on this. How many things? Yeah, off the top of my head, which I have a nice cover.
Not the side.
Anyway, yeah. So, how many things I can think of, like the latent shoe print that we talked about, where they say, hey, look, a shoe print was left. And hey, look, it's the same style of shoe Kohberger leaves, but then fail to mention it's not his shoe. Or how about, blood drops that don't match Kohberger, but they fail to mention, or don't match suspect A, B, or C, doesn't match the alternative suspect, but they fail to mention it also doesn't match Kohberger. They just fail not to mention that part. All of the fuckery of things that just leaving half the truth in there so they clearly want to bias you to, there was mixed blood on the back of the thing. It's got to be his blood. Well, no, they actually literally, by not telling you it wasn't his blood, told you it wasn't his blood, because if it was, they'd be telling you all day long it was his blood. So the fact that they didn't tell you just left you to make your own conclusion. It must be his blood. And they did that with the shoe print. They did that with cell phone, with timing advance records, with everything on and on and on, pinging off the cell tower that services the house at 1122 King Road residence. It's not the same thing as parked outside the fucking house. So how many times did they mislead the public? Sorry, I know some people are like, can you drop maybe an F-bomb or two? Probably not. I'll work on it. But anyways, I mean, this is how you convict people in the court of public opinion. You give them just enough to make them sound guilty, and then don't give them a trial. So anyways, here we go again.
That's the way it works.
And I had a question. Maybe I know you were covering Dago. You did, right? I remember seeing something about the footprint.
I mean, and they only found that footprint after their second go through.
Right.
They didn't find it initially. It was the second go round.
Right. So it doesn't. So I take it doesn't match BK because they would have been screaming from the rafters. Oh, it's his footprint. Oh, it's his footprint. It's there. It's there. So we know it's not that.
The size, the shoes they took from Brian's parents' house were a size 12. Brian does not.
Right.
It's not the same size.
Now
the other
shoe,
one I think was a 9.5 or a 10 or something.
Was it showing like the design on the bottom of the shoe kind of matched a shoe that Dylan
it matches
had
the Vans.
as well?
There's a pair of Vans right on the other side of the footprint in her bedroom that matches the high top Van. But
we don't know if those are her shoes or not.
No, and there's also a pair in Bethany's room. There's also a pair in Maddie's room. There's also a pair.
They're a common shoe.
Wait, it's proud. Yeah, it's only relevant if it matches Kohberger's style of shoe.
Right. My point is though. So I understand. So this is a popular shoe, but I would think it would be pretty. But I would think it would be pretty easy to match. So even if there are 10 pairs of this Van shoe in the house, I would think it would be pretty easy to match which exact one made that print, if it's from one of those shoes, right? Or am I thinking of that wrong?
I mean, no, but Apache makes a hell of a point with throw that back up there, Lee, or whoever who got it up real quick.
One of my mods pinned that. Yeah.
Sorry, but that there we go. And you couldn't see that footprint without the Amito Black. I wonder why that seems to be the only place they looked. That was my question too, Apache. Why did you only look there? Because what was there that made you think that was there? You know what I mean? That's just I'm just saying. So
right.
And not to mention Hunter Johnson also had on a pair of slide sandals that are Vans as well that have the same damn print on the bottom. So I'm just throwing that out there.
Right.
Well, let's bring up this question though. So that was the only latent footprint, right? That they picked from that scene. I think there was a gigantic puddle of amino black at the back sliding glass window. We had on one of our slides, we had so no footprints ended up there.
Not that I saw. Nope.
So
Doesn't seem like it, no.
how do you get past Dylan's bedroom and leave a footprint, but don't go back out the sliding glass door that they said he went out of and not leave a footprint? You tell me
Right,
how
and
that works.
exactly, and I'm gonna tell you something else. That footprint, the way it's facing from what I could tell, the toe is facing the door jamb. Whoever was
Yeah.
standing there was straddling
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
door to her, the
Right,
threshold
right, right.
door, and looking in my opinion, either looking into the living room or to the kitchen area. But they were
Yeah.
standing there, whoever that was. So
Before we get too far, thank you, Kathleen Bell, for becoming a member of the channel. Appreciate that very much. And Dago, this is a surprise, I think, for your side,
yes,
right?
thank you, Moto Man. You are the man as always, brother. I appreciate it. And it says, I wish they took pictures that we could have used to compare. You would have thought that they would have used Emito Black on the bottom of the shoes, 100%. So
Right.
that's a great point, bro. And thank you again for the super chat. You are the man. Number one towards our goal tonight. God bless, brother.
Yeah, it's some of the things that they did and they didn't do defy logic is what it bothers.
Yeah, and I would think that would be like a thing they would do right away to eliminate. Obviously, you know, let's say it's Dylan's shoe. Obviously, she's living there. She's in the house, so it would make sense to see a footprint from Dylan or or Bethany or
right.
So actually, what doesn't make sense is how come we don't see any footprints from Hunter Johnson? Right?
Oh, great point. And I think the blood was dry by the time he went in and was probably stepping around. But here's what doesn't make sense either. Why are they not questioning the fact that it had to be cleaned up before that footprint showed up? Why did that not come out? Why is that not a big deal to them that somebody cleaned up here, obviously, or that print would not have been there the way it was? I'm sorry.
Not only that, but one could argue maybe they did even a better clean job of cleaning the prints leading out the sliding glass door, which is they did say there was evidence of a cleanup, which again, we're beating a dead horse tonight. I know we're beating a dead horse, but again,
we're going to keep on beating that horse too.
The time frame you have to say that there's a cleanup that took place as well. How do you do all that and a cleanup in that time? It's the cleanup part that's starting to really become annoying.
When you have multiple people doing this stuff together, Lee, they took the time in that period of time to do that, to come up with the right story, to clean up. And I still think, and I've said this before in my own shows, I think that there was a group of people there, and I'm truly, honestly, in my heart, believe that there was a group of people there that left when it was decided it was time to call 911. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. And my theory has been that they left somewhere earlier in the morning, but yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, I mean, either way, I think we both agree we probably believe that there's more than one person there. In fact, an expert,
of course,
Turvey, the expert said that there was more than one person that likely did this with more than one weapon.
I want to know who showed up at 4:29 a.m. in that loud ass SUV. And I want to know if they were there to clean, to drop somebody off, to pick somebody up, or just to hang out, but they were at that house that night.
Yeah, I think it also is the reason potentially why a car sped off at 4:20 is because people were leaving the cleaning scene and different people were leaving potentially. But that's crazy. That's just crazy ass conspiracy talk right there, son. That's crazy ass conspiracy talk.
No.
Why no?
What is this? I have a feeling DA's letters may have had an impact. Why no new docs and crickets?
Yeah, we all drop stuff.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. We certainly weren't the only one submitting public records requests out the ass. Yeah, and it does seem like they've gone quiet right now. And
yes.
I think going quiet tells you something. I think they're anticipating this is going back to court.
Yeah. Something's coming. I think that's why I think everything's done.
Yeah,
there's people being denied for FOIAs or records requests left and right. Okay, left and right, they're being denied or ignored. Me being one, and many other people. there's something getting ready to happen. I feel it in my bones, and it hurts.
And,
I'm just
and
telling you.
mostly we're getting ignored. That's the thing. Like they should be
Yeah.
denying us if they're going to deny, and they have to give a reason for the denial. The ignoring part's the worst because they're not
Yeah, that's
legally
crazy.
supposed to be able to ignore you. They have to give you a
Yeah.
reason why they're. So they can say, if they want to say, they can say, hey, look, due to ongoing litigation or upcoming litigation or an ongoing investigation, whatever bullshit they want to rip out of their ass, they can put that on there. But they're supposed to tell you why they can't cough up the records, but they're just completely ignoring it. So
Let me fix something real quick. When I just said that I sent something, I didn't mean like I did it too. I'm what I'm trying to say is like me and you and Lana and Jules and multiple people have sent things in, and every one of those things, it's either that's shut things down or or something else is happening is what I was saying. I didn't want to sound like, hey, I did it too. I didn't want to be that guy. I was just trying to say like multiple people did this, and at least sent in a lot, okay,
yeah,
of
yeah.
stuff. And that's what I'm trying to point out, guys. Not just that I was there too. I don't mean it like that at all. I don't want it to sound that way. So
Yeah.
a whole bunch of creators and people that don't even have channels were sending stuff in is what I'm saying. And something is going on in the
Yeah.
background, in my opinion. I don't know what it is.
And really, and what's crazy too is by Hitler's own decree, half of the shit that came out originally should be re-released because there's been new stuff that and the lawsuit that was also done
Just
where
as much
that
as people need
magistrate
to be.
the magistrate ruled on certain things we're allowed to see. So that means if you released a video or picture or something and redacted, but now it violates the magistrate's decree, you got to go back and
Right.
re-release. Like it's ridiculous.
They also need to
Yep.
re-interview people, I think, now at this point, now that this other stuff has come out as well. They definitely
Right.
need
Yeah.
to do follow-up and re-interviewing. Every interview they've done needs to be done again.
Grace Kirk brings up this question, and this has been a long time since I've seen this. I thought there was a video that showed Dylan and a few other people hanging out outside of the house
No,
that morning, but
no,
that was like from a
that-
previous event, or
no,
That
it's from
statement It's
yeah,
based
go
off
ahead.
of Dot. The Dot
Yeah, it's from
situation.
Dot.
oh,
That's
okay.
Yeah,
not-
but
I
there's
thought
no
it,
video.
no, I saw a video, but it may not have been from the day. It may not have been from that day. What I saw is a video
maybe it
of
was-
a small group
yeah.
of them hanging outside the house, and
It's
what
a
I
different
didn't know
day,
is
I
if that
think.
video was
Yeah.
the same day or not.
No, no.
Yeah,
I
no,
think
just so that-
that's a different day.
And this is why I get angry, because people get confused. So just so you understand, Grace, and a lot of people are newer to this still. There was somebody that came forward and proclaimed to be a friend of Dylan's, went by the name Dot, and we completely and fully debunked that person. They were just a troll from TikTok that was trying to get some attention. So it's not who she is. But that's where that came from, truly and honestly. So just so you
Yeah.
understand.
I love the questions that are coming in from the chat, so keep them coming.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And Lee, I gotta mention, I know we're not going into the topic, but I just wanted to
That's a
tell
good
you
point.
yesterday's show where we started covering John Bonet, the chat was like off the rails. They were so
Was it?
it was
Yeah.
good to see they were so into it. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's some people that don't know about the case and whatever, but it was nice to see. Yeah, lots of questions. Everyone was
Very
really
cool.
into it. Yeah.
Very cool.
Right.
Yeah. It's funny how that case still captivates people after all
Mhm.
these decades. You know, it's like that's
Yep.
an old case.
It's just like this one. There's no real answers to it, and
No.
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's
So-
like the Manson murders. You could still
Yeah.
put out a brand new documentary on the Manson murders, and it would still draw in a lot of people watching it. And it's like that was
course.
from the '60s, you know. So, and in
Right,
fact, I've been reading
right.
the book Chaos. I haven't done a chapter review for a while, but I've been reading the book Chaos on my series for members only. And yeah, it still holds people's attention. And boy, and I told you before, there's some parallels between how the investigation and the prosecution handled things in the Manson case to the Idaho case. There's some parallels that I found, and I bring them out on my show, some of those too. But, and by the way, this is a great night if you want to join us on panel, because we have a low panel tonight. This is a great night.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah,
Throw the
come
link
on,
out
yeah.
there. Throw the link out
Sure.
there and see who salutes. See if anybody signs
Yeah.
up for it.
I'll
We
drop
would
it
love
over
to
in
have you
my
on
chat
screen.
too.
Yeah, perfect. So
Come
then you got
on,
one
let's have
fired
a
out.
talk.
Let's have a talk.
So
Conversation. Come on, let's do it.
I know I saw a few people are covering Mowich again. But my whole thing about Mowich, I care more about the that white Hyundai Elantra in Oregon. You know,
Well, you
just
said
info.
Pavarotti dropped a new video on Mowich, right? So what is he
Yeah,
saying? Is he back to saying
he's
he's one of the,
just
or
yeah, he's just kind of putting, you know, a lot of previous stuff
yeah,
back into one video, and
because yeah.
just you know, just doubling down. I mean, he
Yeah, and
shows
I
a
get it.
little he shows a little funeral, like a funeral from Mowich. Apparently there's like 3 Aryan
Yes, I've seen that. I've seen
Knight
that clip.
members
Yeah.
or something that were there, and
Yeah, I've seen that clip. And I get it. Like for him, Mowich is my Kopaka, right? I can't 100% let Kopaka go, and he can't let Mowich go. So, or Mowich, or however you pronounce it. So
Mowich
I
being
get it.
injured in a car accident was ruled out. Okay. Well, there you go.
That kind of surprised me. That came out of left field there. I had to talk about that one. So yeah. Yeah, because there was, I mean, I've heard all the rumors about him. The part that bothered me, you guys know what bothered me about that, is Mawich's name never came into the thing until like all of a sudden one day, here comes up. By the way, it's this guy you've never heard of for the last 3 years. And I'm like, really? Like now we got a guy, and granted, that doesn't mean that the crime couldn't have been done by somebody we've never heard of yet.
yeah.
But oh yeah, so now
right.
she's gonna bust my nuts on screen. I sent you the video, Lee, but you don't listen to anything I fucking send you, so I sent you the video. Whatever.
Yes, yeah, deep wounds, like yeah, I know. So apparently he had like knife wounds, and that are not indicative of that wouldn't happen inside. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say my only issue. I didn't mean to interrupt you, bud.
No,
my
no,
only
it's
issue with Mowich is that there's really nothing to prove anything. His name never showed up in any documents, none of that kind of stuff, and that's why I can't get comfortable with him. I'm not saying that it. Listen, and you guys know me. I look at every angle, and I will listen to every angle, but I'm not. I'm just not. It doesn't feel right. Something about it doesn't feel right. That doesn't mean it's not. It could absolutely be true, and it absolutely could be the answer. I just can't get comfortable in it. That's all.
And I operate that way too. Some things are gut things that my gut tells me this person's involved. My gut tells me this is not, and that's why I stick with them. All right, we have a guest backstage. Are you ready? We're going to bring up Dylan Hildreth. If I hopefully I pronounced that right.
Yeah,
I know. You're like, oh shit, here we go. Oh shit.
Yeah. As long as he's wearing a decent shirt, okay, I can deal with him tonight. He's got a decent shirt on.
I can go get my
know.
He's wearing a Yankee shirt. You got the Yankees shirt on.
I don't know. We're not all Yankees fans. I'm actually
I'd rather see that than the damn Georgia stuff that he wears.
Wait a minute, is that a Patriots hat on too, or something? Come on now.
Yeah.
Right. Wait. He did that on purpose. You know I hate the Patriots, bro. You know I hate the Patriots.
Wait a minute. Are you freaking trolling our asses right now on live TV?
No, Dylan's a good dude. He's got good insight, good thoughts, good feelings. Good to see you tonight, buddy.
Mainly trolling Dago, but that's beside the point.
Always. Never fails. Always.
I will say, Dago, in my next video, I'm gonna be blowing smoke up your hind end quite a bit.
I found a surprise, as if it's any different than the other day.
Well, I mean, in a kind way.
So it's gonna be happy.
He's gonna blow sunshine up your ass.
Yeah, Leah, I put it in the chat over here, hon. I'll do it again for you guys. It probably rolled through already.
All right, what do you got? A question or comment or whatever after you've done the nice epic troll of Dago? What do you got?
But
there you go, Leah.
Yeah, so I looked at what
somebody's got an echo going.
Somebody's echoing.
But keep going. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I was looking at Logan's video where she did the outline, and I was trying to piece together exactly what could have happened based on the wound patterns.
Okay.
And
right.
And I think one of the things that we do is we try to clump all 4 together. What we got to do is separate as 2 completely, totally separate incidences.
Okay.
And without a shadow of a doubt, in my mind, Kaylee was one. Kaylee was surprised. Was the one that got surprised,
Mm-hmm.
and it was Ethan that got surprised.
Mhm.
Now,
I agree with that too.
now, I think what ended up
Makes
happening,
sense.
and the only way that, if we want to believe Dylan as much as humanly possible, the only way that happens is it was somebody that Ethan and Xana trust enough to be in that bedroom.
Right.
Good
Because
point, bro.
it
Good
all
Yeah, it's a
point.
great
started-
point. Great
Yeah.
point.
It had to have started in that bedroom.
And you know what?
And-
Let me add to that real quick, Dylan. I don't want to interrupt you, but I'll forget this. I wonder, and I wondered this before, and I kind of lost my thought on it. We all know that there was blue powder found on the dresser with a $2 bill wrote up there, okay? All ready
Yeah.
to go. Were they going to do something with somebody in that room? Maybe one of the people that ended up killing them? Hey, Krista, good to see you, sis. Is that what happened possibly? 'Cause
it's
I've thought
possible.
this, Dylan,
And-
and I've wondered. That's a good point, bud.
And real quick before you can respond, we got another guest backstage, so just give me a thumbs up. We that you know you're waiting patiently. We'll get you up here on the screen in a minute. Just want to finish getting this conversation going.
Go ahead, Dylan. I just wanted to
yeah,
throw
go
that
ahead.
into the mix.
But so when you look at the wound patterns that Logan did, you see the slash across Ethan's throat. That was the surprise hit. Ethan goes back into the bed. Xana freaks out. That fight goes on. Killer gets done with Xana, and then he would have gone back and did what he did to Ethan to finish off whatever's left. Ethan's still clinging on to life. That's why you got a little bit of defensive wounds. But
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
I always thought, no, I shouldn't say always thought. I have recently, I guess, revised that I thought Ethan got clubbed in the head with something, a blunt force object that may have kind of scalped him a little bit, that knocked him out. And that was part of it. My thought, I thought also, just to finish that thought, that, that was what caused the horrific scream. Maybe what we hear when that happened, and that freaked somebody out and they screamed horrifically. And then everything kind of moved from there. And again, it would potentially lead to the question of Steve Gonzalez. He didn't have to go up the stairs, because if the attack was on the second floor and it was meant to stay on the second floor, he didn't have to go up the stairs and finish people off upstairs. They could have stayed and just taken their original target. So it makes sense to me. We got people stacking up, by the way, backstage.
And
so
I
make sure we.
But the only thing is, I just wanted to comment on what you said about Steve. Well, he's just, he's just saying stuff, or he doesn't know. I get that comment about, oh, they wouldn't have to go upstairs, but I think a lot of us believe there were multiple attackers.
Of course.
So I think there were
Right.
I think there were people.
Absolutely.
I think, and it's very high chance that the attacks were going on at the same time, too.
Simultaneously,
It doesn't
right,
have to be like one happened and then the other. They could have both happened, kind of.
And something else I want to throw at you guys real fast, because of something Dylan said, reminded me of it. If we're to believe anything that Dylan says, not this Dylan Mortensen, okay?
I don't believe a damn thing Dylan says. After
Yeah,
wearing that
right.
hat and-
Well, with that damn hat on, I agree. But she made a statement at one point saying that she knew Kaylee was going upstairs because she heard her, and she knew when she got up there because of the amount of stomps she heard going up the stairs. She said this in her interview.
Yeah, right.
Okay. First off, that's bullshit for two reasons. One, Kaylee either didn't have shoes on or she had tennis shoes on. One of the two. So she didn't hear that. So here's my thought. What if that is a true statement, and what she actually heard was
steps
one of
going
the
up the
killers
stairs.
going up the stairs, stomping up, okay? Because they may have
Correct.
actually had boots on.
Right.
Kaylee
Didn't
did
she
not
say?
that night.
Didn't she say she heard her Doc Martens? Didn't she
Yes.
state specifically what
Kaylee's
what
Doc
style
Martens
of
are in her
shoe she
fucking
heard?
closet. Yes.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Right.
She
They
did
were
say
in her
that.
closet.
She did say that. Yeah.
Kaylee wore tennis shoes, and by that point of the night, you guys, I'm gonna guess that Kaylee was in her socked feet, not because
Right.
one of her socks was missing, if you remember. So
Right.
you have to have your shoes off for your sock to come off. Is all I'm saying. So it was either tennis shoes or nothing. Probably, in my opinion, nothing, like socks, maybe.
Socks, right. Dancing
So-
with the dog in the socks.
Yeah,
you know.
the Doc Martens were in the closet, 2 pair of them. The only Doc Martens that we see are in the living room, and I'm pretty sure those probably belong to Dylan because Maddie's were in her room as well, on the floor by the door. So there again, what if that's true? What I believe Dylan heard, if she heard it, was the killer going upstairs. So run that through with everything we've heard and process that as well.
Right.
But
Just wanted to say that.
The thing is, my premise of the video that I made was the fact that there is no possible way it was one person.
No.
Whether
Well,
it's a special forces badass,
Right.
or
Right.
some guy who just got lucky. Because the fact of the matter is, there was a struggle both in Xana's room and in Maddie's room.
Right.
And there is also
One
a
worse than the
bystander.
other.
There is also a bystander in each room. And in every single instance, as soon as that first move is made, the other person's gonna scream.
Right. Or call 911 or
something.
And the thing is, that scream, it would have alerted everybody else in the house to either come and see what's going on.
I would
or run
argue
out
that
the door.
scream would alert people at 1119 down the street.
1112. Yeah.
And 1112, of course, right beside it. That's how loud that scream was. You could hear that all the way down the street. If that, well, we don't know that was the scream, but I'm saying is a scream.
But probably,
like that,
yeah, and it would have traveled probably even through the whites right there.
Sure. It could
real
have.
quick.
Well, yeah,
That tunnel,
especially
it's like
with
a
the way
tunnel.
that place was shaped.
Yeah.
We all know from Lee's
Fishbowl.
footage how yep.
So real quick, I don't want to keep our guest backstage too long. Do you want to? Should we bring the guest up and have two guests on stage at the same time, or
Sure.
dismiss Dylan?
I'm good with it.
All right, let's
You can
let's get Moto up here and Moto,
Moto!
what's going on?
Evening.
What's up, brother?
Hey, how are you
Good to
guys
see
doing?
you.
Good,
Welcome
we're good.
back. Moto
Yeah,
Man
good
the
to be
man. Great to
What's-
have you
what's-
here tonight. Thank you for joining us. What's on your mind tonight, sir?
I mean, just the case in general. I mean, what point haven't we hit yet? I mean, when
Right.
are we actually going to get an answer for something? Not just
Thank you.
guess about everything.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's why I've been. You've been on my panel a couple times, and you've been in the show every day. So you've heard me say recently that and Kim was on the show with me yesterday. I think it was I'm stepping outside the box now. I'm looking in different directions, different angles, different things because we've looked at everything that's inside this box, and not a damn thing makes any sense. We're not getting any answers for anything, as you said. At this point, I'm looking for different things that don't make sense to try to make sense. Do you know what I mean? Because that's the only thing I can see left for us to do at this point.
I love this. You've got a member for 30 months, and they're like, add 12 months to that. You're lying.
It is lying. Yeah, she's been with me from like almost the beginning. So congrats,
Nice.
happy anniversary, Tomboy. You
That's
know I
some
love
freaking
you.
loyalty. That's amazing.
Yeah, amazing stuff. Thank you, dear. And Krista Marie, thank you for that that membership that went to Voted Mayhem 4706. Congrats, welcome to the source. The source. And
The source.
we appreciate you. Sorry about that, guys. Go ahead.
Well,
So-
everybody's all muted. Our guests are all muted. But yeah,
Do you have
I mean,
any? Do you have any
I'm-
thoughts on what Dylan was saying, Moto? I think you're muted, but there you go.
Oh, no, he's
You know what? I saw a video the other day. If you look it up on YouTube, it's called Thing 42. Period. Look that up on YouTube. It actually has it's kind of interesting. It kind of explains what kind of might have happened on Halloween and how that might have played into this. And it actually kind of sounds like it has something to do with Dylan's dad. Like he
Okay.
kind of
Oh,
put
shit.
a thread out there.
Thing 42 is the name of the channel.
No, Thing 42 is the name of the video.
What
Okay.
channel
Thing
is it?
42.
You know?
No, I don't remember the channel's name offhand.
Got you.
I'm looking for it too. But
okay. Hold on a minute. Let me check something else out over here. I just
was
noticed
that the Halloween? Was that the Halloween video that had them playing around with a knife and stuff too, or not?
holy snake?
Well,
No,
it's
no,
one
they were
of-
playing
they're
with
like-
a knife.
Oh,
It
okay.
was actually kind of explaining, like, so apparently the reason why Dylan was, passed out in a closet wearing some goofy clothes and a blue hair wig, because I guess she dressed up as Thing
Oh,
too,
karmic.
but something happened to her clothing. Ethan lent her Hunter's clothing, so everybody started making fun of her, and it possibly went way too far.
I
Wow.
remember hearing that story. And how big? Hold on a minute. I'm sorry, you guys. Congratulations. Typically unique. And 10 months. I think it's been longer than that. Happy day anniversary to you, as well as Jesse Lynn on. That's like 4 years. Yeah, she's right. But YouTube's whatever. Happy day anniversary to you, both of you, all of you. Thank you so much for being a part of our family, our community. We love you. I appreciate you very much.
So was that Halloween? Was that Halloween in 2022, like the month before, or is it like a different year? Is it?
No,
it's the same year.
2022.
22. Wow.
Why can't I
Yeah,
find it?
yeah.
So
wait,
it's an event. An event that
yeah,
happened just before. Yeah.
What the hell?
And
happened?
Dylan was supposedly, they were like, she was like being made fun of and all this different stuff. But yeah, that was that year. That was 2022. That.
Then right at the end of it, there's a text from her dad saying, "Listen, kind of in this context, this is what's who you're going to have to deal with if anybody's caught messing around with my daughters."
Oh, yeah. I think somebody said it came off of Karmic's channel. Karmic Retribution, which is an amazing channel. But I just pulled up her channel and all of her content's gone.
Oh,
well, I got a link. I'm trying to see if this is the link.
Which is weird.
All right. Oh yeah, here it is.
You found it?
That's Rhonda found it. Let me see if this is the one you're talking about. Not that we can play it necessarily because of the length of it, but hold on. Screen share this.
The one that I saw is only about 2 minutes.
Oh, so it's not this one? Because this one says Idaho 4 Ethan featuring Dylan as Thing 42.
Yeah, that's I remember that. So that's probably it.
Part of it.
That's it,
Master
probably,
Nature. Yeah, it's in there. Just scroll into it. There you go.
Yeah, that's it. Because it's like a TikTok video.
It's only a couple minutes long.
Yeah.
Good job, Rhonda.
I'm not playing the audio. I could play the audio, but if that TikTok has music, we're gonna get hammered for it. But
I don't remember if it does.
It does have some sort of backing track to it.
Yeah.
And I do want to remind everybody, Dylan's the catalyst for Kaylee being there, and for Maddie being there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd still like that explained. I would like to hear a good explanation as to why you went all the way to her aunt's house to talk her into coming back here for one night to go as your plus one
to a party you never went to.
Right.
That makes no sense.
That's what I want to know.
Crazy thing. So what is your what I mean, spell it out for us, Moto. Like what do you think went too far that night? Mocking her, making fun of her, and so somebody was getting revenge for her because he made fun of his daughter, or what? What are you trying to say?
I mean, I think that's the premise of the video. Now, do I necessarily think that's the catalyst and what caused it all? I'm not 100% convinced, but I mean, at the same time, I mean, it's definitely something that it's definitely a scenario that's possible. Anything's possible.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a good thread to
point.
look at, because they weren't, it's not like Dylan was great friends with Kaylee,
and it was brought up before. It was brought up before by the family of one of the victims the sister, that they could be quote unquote, okay, no disrespect intended, but they could be bitches, okay, mean girls in a sense. So. I'm curious. I'll just put it that way. I'm curious. Dylan being the newest one in the house, Dylan also being in an outside circle of friends that was not up to the same level that Maddie and Kaylee's circle was. Completely different type of people. Think about that, guys, and how we know growing up the types of things that happen when you're in and out of those circles. You know what I mean? It's very interesting to me. Dylan probably was made fun of for different reasons, being too tall, having looking like Mr. Limpet with her lips. All of the different things that she could have been made fun of for could set anybody off and piss off somebody's boyfriend too, or their
Well,
daddy.
I mean,
I'll just say that.
how do you know? Maybe this does have something to do with a parent, but I mean, I'm not saying that they did.
Sure.
It does, but I'm saying you never know.
I agree.
How people might react to people, you know.
Yes. And here's another thing, Moto. Her dad's organizational, how can I say this? The people that her father knew were not good people. Let me put it that way. And the people he was engaged with were not good people. So, somebody your daughter calls you crying. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of being made fun of. I'm tired of them picking on me. I'm tired of being the outsider. I'm tired, Daddy. I'm tired of it. Boo-hoo, crying. That sets any father's trigger. I know it does for mine, with my 2 daughters. Daddy gets pissed off. Maybe he has too much to drink one night. Who knows? And calls his buddies and says, yo, they're messing with my daughter. I'm not happy.
Is her
That's all I'm
affiliated
saying.
Is her dad affiliated with her boyfriend's father's?
That's
business?
what I heard.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's true, but I heard
that was what we were all told, is that there's a relationship between them as well. The family of brothers.
Well, I mean,
as Tomboy said,
it only takes a spark to start a fire, right?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Good way to
Right.
put that too.
Right.
And then he was putting videos on TikTok making, if I remember right, Brent Mortensen, he made a couple videos and they were along the lines of taking responsibility for your own actions. And when you do certain things, you're not alone and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, what are you trying to say here, boss? And then he tried to throw a religious thing to the side of it, and make it sound good. But he's got a very heavy and dark background. Understand that, folks. We looked into him pretty deep, and he definitely has a dark background. So I'm just outside the box. That's all I'm saying.
Right. And we should, I shouldn't say we should. I will remind you that we are just theory crafting. With these are not allegations. We don't know what happened, but again, my go-to phrase is, what I can tell you didn't happen was one guy did it by himself and
everything
and cleaned up afterwards. But we don't know what happened.
I'm sorry, Lee. Everything that we talk about is purely alleged, based on absolute speculation. So I say that all the time in my show. So absolute. Good points to bring up, though.
You've been kind of quiet there for a minute. What do you got, man?
I was just gonna say, and again, I want to point the attention to, not only is Dylan the catalyst for Kaylee and Maddie being there, but she the wounds that were suffered, they were absolutely 110% personal.
Yeah, right. I mean, you hear it all the time. You hear it all the time on crime shows. If you watch true crime all the time, you say a person who kills with a knife, it's personal, because you shoot somebody, you've got distance between you and them. Whereas a knife, you have to get up right in their grill, and you have to, it's personal, and it tends to usually mean a crime of passion. It doesn't always. I mean, obviously, if you get in a fight with somebody and you pick up a knife and stab somebody, it's a different thing. But it often means a crime of passion.
Well,
when there's
but with them saying that some wounds may be post-mortem too.
Yeah, right.
I think also would go along with Dylan. Like, if someone is that angry,
and the overkill, the overkill is also another sign of a personal situation. The overkill, and to some extent, whether people were covered in blankets afterwards, which sometimes shows shame on the person's who did it. They don't want to see what they've done, so they cover the person up with a blanket, whatever. Like, there's a lot of telltale signs that it could have had some personal issues going on in the whole thing. But I don't know.
And the fact that most of the wounds on Kaylee and Maddie were in the face.
Right. Which, again, if you're angry at the pretty girls who made you angry, kind of thing, then you're gonna make them ugly, right? That's the idea, is that I'm gonna take the very thing away from you that you've got going for you, which is great looks, and so I'm gonna stab you in the face and make it so that you're horribly disfigured, even if you did survive. But
Aww,
what a cute dog.
puppy.
chilling like a villain. So yeah, these are great. These are great thoughts. We still can't get answers. I'm frustrated at again, the case should be over.
Yeah.
The case should be over. You've got
Right.
a guilty plea. So why are we still gagging everything? Why are we still struggling for answers? Why are we still having, when crime scene photo comes out, why do you have somebody like Howard Bloom come out and say, gee, I wrote a book on how Kohberger did it, but now after seeing the crime scene photos, which for some reason we don't get to see for 3 years, but now that he's seen them, now he's rethinking his book he wrote. Like maybe it wasn't one person.
Right.
So, I don't know.
They haven't even given us the full autopsy yet. It would be nice to get the full
No.
autopsy. All we know is, I mean, from Steve G saying, he claims that they have Kaylee's and it's 21 pages. So it would be nice to do a deep dive into those.
Does anybody know what the status of Olivia Gonzalez's legislation that she proposed, where Idaho would make it illegal for anybody to see crime scene photos?
I have not heard.
I didn't hear
anything
any
about that.
update. No, I
Let me see if I can get while you guys are talking and chit chatting. Let me see if I can find that real quick.
Right. Oh, so Dylan, I had a question for you. So what do you said that you think that Ethan was surprised, right?
Ethan was surprised, and I believe.
So do you?
Kaylee was
Okay.
surprised.
So do you? I'm just asking. I'm just asking, like, what you think. Do you think that that's like at like that 2:30 range when we hear those screams, or do you think that that's something else going on?
So when you listen closely to the 237 scream, that's
Right.
not it. It doesn't have like a straight cutoff. It kind of eases off, and that points to more of she found that whoever found something and is freaking out, or something just started happening and she's freaking out,
Right.
and which would be in this particular scenario, whoever slashes Ethan's throat and he falls back, and then the fight happens.
Right.
While
I always thought it was a possibility that something was going on with Ethan and Xana, whatever in the bedroom or started outside, whatever it is was going on, and then Kaylee and Maddie returned back, obviously from the food truck, and they've stumbled into something that they weren't supposed to see that was going on with Ethan and Xana.
So I have a few issues with that theory. If they were to come in, they allegedly always use the back. They walk in and they see somebody with a mask. They're turning and burning. They're gone.
Right. That's true.
So I think it was. I'm leaning more towards some sort of coordinated attack
In the house, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some sort of coordinated attack. That, or they were already led to the house. They were forced up to the bedroom and tortured till God knows when.
Right.
Because again, we can't be leaving out Gower's potential involvement in this with everything that he's lying about.
Right.
And
which again, I question why he's lying about anything. Just be honest, or unless you can't.
Yeah.
And I mean, at the end of the day, Dylan's dad could have involvement in it, but I think it's a lot more likely that you just had a band of guys in town, or you had a band of people who, and as we've documented,
right,
Maddie and Kaylee, they were the mean girls, and so I think it's more likely that you have a group of guys coming in. Hey, it's a party, or hey, Eric's bringing the girls. We got his GPS. He's coming. We got him. Let's get the ambush.
Right. Real quick, I don't want to interrupt and I don't want to jump subject, but I want to show this real fast. If you could pull this up just to show you guys. Thank you, Tomboy, for showing this to me real quick. The bill we were talking about earlier, Bill 1250.
That's what I had it all ready to go. I was going to talk about it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll pull it down.
No,
sorry.
go ahead. You can go. No, you can go ahead. I'll just fill in anything that nice.
Well, I didn't want to. I just wanted to show it real fast to show that it's advancing to the House floor. And then you can talk about it when he's done, Lee. I didn't want to take that away. I didn't realize that. I'm sorry.
No worries. No.
But good. Thank you, Tomboy, for showing that. Because I was wondering what was actually going on with that from we mentioned it earlier. Must have been reading my mind. But go ahead, Dylan. That does make sense, buddy, what you're saying.
But yeah,
go ahead.
And I was also gonna kind of bring up a topic that I think you guys brought up a couple days ago. Who had the most to gain out of this? And
right.
The University of Idaho, they would have a bit to gain, but if we shrink the circle a little bit, who's got the most to gain out of specifically Kaylee's death?
That's a good question.
Good old JD. He gets his dog, and his ex is no longer going around.
Yeah, it's difficult because I've always said that the ex-boyfriend should have been the first suspect, and in fact, there's indications he was an earlier suspect. But it seemed like they ruled him out really quickly, and maybe too quickly because it's a huge motive. And again, I could make an argument that Kaylee wasn't staying there because it was in the record. She had broke up with him just 3 weeks ago, and then she stopped staying at 1122 and was staying at her parents' house. So those two things could be simultaneous. You break up the boyfriend and you leave because you're afraid of being around your boyfriend who's upset about it. And people said he wasn't handling it well, although a lot of people saying he was handling it well. Go ahead.
Now it did say in the police documents he was going to therapy over it because he couldn't get over her.
Right.
And then,
that's in there.
And then you pile on the fact that Kaylee is leaving for Texas.
Yeah,
in a matter of weeks. This is the final big party before they leave for Thanksgiving and before Kaylee checks out of Idaho for good, essentially. So this is this is the last opportunity.
Preaching to the choir. I totally see it that way myself.
So I'm curious to see if that 17-minute FaceTime that nobody remembers happened between Jack and Kaylee,
and that Steve's trying to tell on the night before and not the night of the murders, or
which is bullshit.
What if that was like that one final plea of let's get back together? They're talking it out, and Kaylee just finally says no.
I still wonder, Dylan, with you saying that, what went down at the bar that night, because from watching, we analyzed the Corner Club video quite a bit, and my mods and I went through it many times, and you can kind of see at a point where it looks like Maddie is going off on somebody. Now we know she was really intoxicated, so was she joking around or was she being serious? But when she's over in that corner by Jack, she's doing this with her hands and flailing around, and at some point you notice Kaylee looks highly irritated, comes in, grabs Maddie, and drags her out of the bar. Okay.
Well, listen, if I can, let me say this. I read the book. A lot of people don't want to read, and I get why you don't want to read it. I read Howard Bloom's book, and I told you the chapter you need to read is the chapter on the Corner Club, because everything that he talks about is a motive for murder. Kaylee, he says, why did Kaylee go to the one bar where her ex-boyfriend was almost certain going to be? Yes. She went to the bar and he said she was making a huge deal out of making everyone know that on no uncertain terms it was over between the two of them. He wrote that in the book. She was mocking us, basically the whole situation. It was there to make sure everyone knew it was over between her and Jack. So you can't, again, maybe you think, and I can make the argument that Howard Bloom just writes fiction and it's not fucking based on facts. But that's what he wrote in the book. She went there and it's chapter 13, I think, or 12.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's the one chapter worth reading in that book, because I said everything that could have happened to what happened at the Corner Club.
And at one point you watch her and she's on her phone, and she's on her phone that whole night, you guys, in the bar.
Yes.
She's looking down at her phone. We watched this happen a few times, and then she looks around with this real irritated look, like she's looking for somebody that pissed her off. She leaves the bar and she's walking home on her phone the whole time. Then out comes the Maddie, what did you say to Adam in an irritated tone? And then on they go to the grub truck. She's on the phone the whole time there. What's going on that night, you guys, between the bar and the house? In that period of time, I feel like that really does play a part. And I've always thought
it does.
God love Wisdom Speaks. I miss her so much. But her thought on this always was that statement, what did you say to Adam, really has a whole lot more to do with this entire thing.
Well, more importantly, I want to ask my guests, or our guests, not my guests, our guests, this question on this. So, like, for me, that corner club, who was doing what on their phones the hours before the murder would be a primary thing to look into during the investigation, wouldn't you think?
Yeah.
Why weren't they all over what happened in the hours before the murders? What was said? And it seems that there's a complete lack of anybody giving a shit in the investigation about what happened at the corner club. That's what it looks like to me. But maybe you guys have seen stuff in the documents. Have you guys seen anything where they really paid attention to what happened in the corner club and went through their phones to know what happened at the corner club?
No.
Even at the grub truck. Even at the truck, too.
Well, the problem is, even if it does lead back to Jack D, his prints still don't match anything that was found in the house. So regardless of what conjecture we can make, that has to do with what was said on the cell phones and all that sort of stuff, how do you tie that back to the actual evidence in the case?
If somebody was doing... Go ahead.
This is what I've said, and it could be a way stretch to make it fit. If the house was going to get hit, if somebody else in the house was going to get hit already for something else, so let's say Ethan or Xana was the target for some other reason, a slight that happened at the Halloween party or whatever you want to say, and that was what was going to happen. And if Jack knew the people who were going to hit the house, and he's pissed off at Kaylee for snubbing him and taking off with his dog going to Texas, he could just simply say, hey, can you get Kaylee back at the house that night and make sure she's there for the attack? Jack could have never gone into the house, but he could have known it was coming, and he could have asked Dylan to lure her back. So that's a scenario in which he's involved, but he didn't actually go into the house.
Another thing to bring up. I got another thing real quick. It's kind of like a devil's advocate to that. So I know we're like going down to Jack D. I was just going to say.
Let me add this first, because then that would you could bounce off of that. But they wanted Decor to go to John's alley with them that night, and he said, "No, I'm gonna go home. I'm done." Blah blah blah. So just add that to what you just said, Lee. Is all I was saying. Go ahead, one.
Right. So just try to
just the devil's advocate to that. Just to look at, food for thought. Remember at 2 whatever it is, I never remember the damn time, 2:54 whatever it is, 10 calls, 10 messages between Kaylee's phone and Maddie's phone calling Jack D, right? And supposedly he's sleeping, right? That's what the thing is. Was someone trying to lure Jack D to there? What if Jack D did
we
come?
talk about
and
that.
maybe he would be another murder victim as well.
I always felt that way. I always felt that they were trying to lure Jack to the house.
I think that could be it too.
I don't think they tried to lure Jack to the house to attack him. I think they tried to lure Jack D to the house to make
him on him
to get his DNA in the house, right?
Yeah,
but the thing is,
right.
This is So okay,
I think that's it.
Good point. But here's the thing that's the counter in a way. Jack D's DNA is all over that house already. That's the thing that kills me. Like, you can't say Jack D is excluded from the crime scene because he hung out over there. Like, go ahead.
You're right. You're right. But then he would be there. But then he would be right there when it happened. It's like he's
okay. So if you walked into that house and you didn't know anything,
Dylan's chopping at the bit. We got to give him to him.
Hold on a sec. So if you walked into the house and you didn't know anything had happened, right? You would have put your hand on a handrail that would have had blood on it. Now your bloody prints are in that house.
Right. That'd be different.
So you want the most unsuspecting person to take the fall for this. You want the most unsuspecting person not to expect what they're walking into.
Yeah, and footprints too. His footprints would be all over.
I'm gonna get back to your point after Dylan goes, because Moto, I want to comment on what you just said. So go ahead, Dylan.
So here's my big counter to that, because in Bethany's interview, and she shoehorns this last little part in, and I think there was a method to it. She adds Oh, I don't think Kaylee was gonna actually move to Texas. I think she said she was gonna stay with us. And what that does, it takes away that trigger point for Jack. So it
The
covers
motive,
Jack.
yeah, the time motive, right?
It covers up the motive. And I
Right.
think and that it because that's the only reason why you would add that in there. Because we all know
no,
that's
that's
not
a
true.
that's a great observation, and exactly, it might be somebody trying to give. No, she wasn't going to leave; she was going to stay, which would give away would lessen the idea that he lured her back or helped lure her back so that she'd be there. To what Moto was saying too, I've said this before. I feel like the door was left open on that house by 8 o'clock in the morning and left wide open in hopes someone would walk in on the crime scene and discover it. And that was what they were. That's why the delay in the 911 call came in the first place. It was a party house. They expected people to come and go. Maybe even attempts were made to lure somebody over to be the one to discover the crime scene and therefore get their DNA all over the crime scene. But no one came over. And after 8 hours of no one coming over, somebody was like, you need to fucking call 911 at this point because it's ridiculous. No one's come over. And the longer you wait, the harder this is going to be to explain. So call. So
it's just weird because wasn't one of the messages that Kaylee sent was about his vape pen?
Yes.
Right?
I don't think Kaylee was necessarily the one making those messages.
I know.
How easy is it just to take a dead person's fingerprint and just push it on their iPhone? There you go.
Well,
I've said it a million. We've said it a million times. Cell phone activity is not proof of life. We've said that a lot on this show.
There's a lot of manipulation you can do with a timeline.
I mean,
and
they
everything.
can try to call Jack as many times as they want using her thumbprint, right? But the problem is still, how do you not get your fingerprints on that phone?
Because with iPhone, it doesn't take a fingerprint. It's all Face ID for Apple. There isn't a fingerprint option anymore on the.
I got another phone right here that's an iPhone, and you need a fingerprint for it.
Like on the screen?
Know that?
No, right on the bottom of the iPhone.
Back. That's down at the bottom something.
Here.
I thought. Yeah, that's how my wife says.
Yeah.
That round circle button at the bottom.
Huh.
I guess it depends on what model you have,
Yeah, because as soon as they got rid of the button, there wasn't any sort of touch ID. It was all face after that.
Right.
But and then
sorry, go ahead.
And I was going to say, and the reason why we don't hear Murphy going ballistic at 2:37, and I know I brought it up in Dagos, but when Bethany said that they let the dogs out, they let the dog out, and we know Maddie was nowhere near able to take a dog out.
I don't think so either.
My theory is,
especially after she ate.
Bethany handed the dog. Bethany was the one that took Murphy out. Bethany was the one that handed the dog off to Jack, and Jack took Murphy back to his place.
I think that's what you see very close to seeing on the footage at the 2:27 or whatever in the morning when his car pulls in to that area. There's a sound of the door being shut. It sounds, some people say they hear him saying Murphy. Some people hear him say, come here, boy, whatever they can. They hear a call out and then the car leaves at a high rate of speed. So did somebody come pick up Murphy that was wandering around the neighborhood? That's one of the questions. And then did he get brought back to the house after the murders and after the cleanup? But
here's another problem with Jack Decor as well. We know that they found blood in his apartment and supposedly the blood has nothing to do with this. But what does it have to do with? Whose blood is it? What is it from and why? They never explained that, and I want to know that. If it doesn't have anything to do with the crime, then why is it there?
Yeah.
Something else that I want to add on, and it was in the latest body cam footage that Connor was able to put out. You can hear another dog barking. So there's another dog well within.
There's all kinds of dogs over there. There was 2 dogs right behind the house.
Moye,
the upper house.
Yeah. The Moyes have 2 dogs behind, which very well could be the dogs that we hear.
And one set of dogs or one dog can set the other dog off too. So there's that.
So
it's a good conversation, gentlemen.
And there's a good. I know Lana covered this pretty extensively. I know there's a car you can see that leaves at like 4:52, and then the barking stops.
Yeah. Yep.
And then that was at the 4 a.m. slot. The dogs go the dog goes ballistic, and
417.
Or
Yeah.
17, yeah.
Yep.
And the dog also goes absolutely nuts. Whatever dog it is, when that SUV or whatever the hell that is shows up around 429, the dog is going nuts. Okay.
Yeah.
And is it because there's somebody gets out of the vehicle and the dog sees and I'm telling you at that point, I think that's Murphy. I think Murphy is on the back, whatever the hell that thing is up there off of Kaylee's bedroom at that point. And that's why he sounds like it's like centered in one area and the dog goes nuts. This is again just an opinion I have of it, but that's always been my thought on that. At 429, when that vehicle shows up, whoever that is stops, gets out, whatever, that dog seems like he's going nuts at that point, and then it cuts the video off, so we don't know. So,
which I think my counter to that would be that it could very well be the dogs in the across the way that they just got woken up because of the SUV.
Exhaust. Yeah,
and
I mean, it could have been. You're right. You're right.
Right, and right,
because the thing is, you got to. So in order for Murphy to leave, we got to bring him back. So,
right.
My guess is, either Jack D brought Murphy back and put him in Kaylee's room, or he handed the dog back off to Bethany or Dylan and took it upstairs.
There's a lot of Murphy. Excuse the phrasing, but there's a lot of Murphy fuckery going on. Like he's outside around the dumpster at one point. He's out on the balcony at one point. He's running around another point. He's in the house at one point. Like there's a lot going on with him, in my opinion.
And I think a key point too to remember about like the dog barking at 4:30 in the morning.
Yes.
One, I forget who it was. Dago probably knows the name. From the Moyes from that house, they are the ones that called a noise complaint on 11/22. So if they call a noise complaint on 11/22 at 9 p.m., right? Previously, because they're having a party, there was a party, right? So don't you think that this person at the Moye residence would call for a noise complaint at 4:40? The dog is barking for a half hour straight. Don't you think they would call? So what would be a good reason not to call? Because you're not going to call 911 on your own dog.
If it's your dog.
Right.
That's what Lana said.
Yeah.
Somebody else in that interview said that they didn't hear the dog bark, didn't they?
I think it was Dylan, but then she goes out. Bill Thompson says, "Hey, you got to talk about the dog."
It's right.
I love that. Hey, you gonna talk about the dog? Talk about the dog. It's not like Dylan's been coached in the interviews. Come on, man. It's not like they. Are you sure Dylan, you didn't see a balaclava like this?
Dylan,
let me draw this for you. Have you seen this?
Well,
have you seen that? How about these?
Dylan doesn't need to be. She doesn't need to be coached. She answers the question with every answer possible. So.
Pretty much. I don't remember if it actually happened. So maybe it happened, but maybe it didn't happen.
Yeah. Hey, if you answer all the questions, you can't get them. You give all the answers, you can't get it wrong.
Right. And then you just point to the one that was correct. Like, this is the one you need. Okay, that's what I stand by. Yeah. Well, I'm so glad that we have nothing to talk about. I mean, this case was solved. Remember, it's already closed. So why are we fucking still talking about it?
It's been solved 37 times.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
37.
Yeah. I queued up Murphy in the background. We're going to play us out with Murphy today. I think we're going to have to do that.
Out already? Wow.
No, we're not out yet. We're not out yet.
I thought it was over already.
I'm going to play us out with Murphy at the end.
More Murphy stuff.
I had another question. Dylan, what do you, I know we have not a lot of info, but some of the info that supposedly Ethan had some kind of argument or whatever happened, some scuffle with Loach, and they seem to never interview Loach or do, how do you feel about that?
I mean, par for the course.
Yeah.
I mean, as soon as the name Koberger dropped, nothing else mattered. It was
right.
And I mean, we all know this at this point. Whenever something happens and you open up an investigation, you build brick by brick, and whatever road it leads to, it leads to.
Right.
Well,
The thing that just is alarming to me about it, I mean, maybe they might not have had the info right away. However, you
Right.
know that Ethan and Jana were at this party, and I believe there was like 100 people or more at this party. You would get names of people who were there, start interviewing them, and I'm sure someone eventually, would break and be like, "Oh yeah, these guys did have an argument." Now, is it possible that there was some kind of small scuffle or fight with Loach and it has nothing to do with the murders? Absolutely. But wouldn't you think that would, the same way as you would think, oh, Jack D is the number one thing, you definitely would want to, you definitely would want to talk to someone that seemed to have some kind of argument
I
the
mean,
night that they
Honestly,
died.
from the very beginning of this case, my go-to theory, it was the frat boy theory. That was the one that I entertained the most. It seemed the most likely. It had some sort of background to it. It seemed
Yeah.
like it kind of everything kind of fit, maybe a little bit too well. But as Pav started, I guess within the last year or so, coming out with a lot of his stuff, my mind's changed on a lot of it just because of the evidence. But at the same time, it's always in the back of my head. It for whatever reason, my mind always wants to go back to this has something to do with the frats. It has something to do with the domestic thing because you know what? Whoever entered this house to do this crime, they knew where they were going. They knew where to hit, and they knew how to clean it up. So they were familiar with the geographical or just the location of the house.
Yeah, it's
and I agree with you. Like, I don't think it, like, I don't tend to feel it's a frat motivated murder, but I think the frats were involved. I think the frats are still involved because when I went there to the neighborhood, I was chased off by frat boys. I think that came over from freaking Sigma Chi at a hell bent speed with their truck going, "What the fuck are you doing in this neighborhood? Get out of here. You don't belong here." And I think those were frat guys. They came and tried to scare me off the property. So I think they're still somehow, and I don't know what their involvement is. Do I think that the frat was the instigator of the whole thing? Maybe not, but I think that there is frat involvement in somehow. So I'm with you on that.
They probably have you on a poster. You're probably like on a board.
Probably.
If you see this guy.
It could very well could be. Real quick, if I can, I just wanted to welcome Busted Flush, Bargain Mama, Mooski Girls, Juju Thorns,
You can
Cammy
say that
Steve
again.
Smith. Yeah, I can say any of them. All of you guys, welcome to the sauce. It's great to have you in the family with us. We appreciate you very much. There's a few memberships I wanted to throw out for you guys. Thank you.
Very cool. All right. We're getting to the last half hour of the show. Let's let our guests have another comment or question or topic starter. Do you guys want to throw anything out there or something you wanted to say?
Here's one thing I keep bringing up on Dago's channel, and he's probably sick of hearing it, but
Never.
what do you think of this devil's advocate? Because I want to ask you, because I think you might like this kind of thing. Okay, so the reason why they had to blame Brian Kohlberger was because it wasn't an Idaho University student. He was from Washington. Okay. Yeah. So do you think the reason, so do you think Idaho, because they were losing enrollment, their enrollment was down, all of this stuff was down, do you think they brought those consultants in was a way to try to actually poach students from WSU by smearing them with a Washington school student who committed a crime? So therefore their enrollment would go up because it's a school that's only 20 more minutes away. Very easy to switch your kids over there. And do you think WSU would have actually a reason for a lawsuit to put against Idaho University?
Great questions.
Yes.
I don't know that so they're great questions. I don't know that I would necessarily follow the logic that they would think that someone finding out that the killer came from WSU would cause an enrollment shift of people, because I feel like a lot of people view that those two schools, because they're so close to each other, as the same area. So you don't want to send your kids to WSU or to Idaho. I'm more inclined to think that the school, University of Idaho, was motivated to find somebody to blame it on other than we got a confidential informant killed because we have an inside agreement with the Moscow Police Department to embed with the Greek life. I think that is what they were trying to cover up myself. But it's an interesting idea. I mean, yes, I think a lot of people have said that they think that there was a motivation to pin it on an outsider, right? Because that gives them the, hey, it's not our community. Our community is safe. It was some freak from the East Coast who just came over here, and it's not our problem. So I mean, I acknowledge the motivation to blame it on an outsider, so it makes your community more safe. But I think it's probably something else. I think that was the reason Koberger was picked myself. But thanks, that's a great question.
Yeah, very good question.
Guys, have a good night.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Moto. Good to see you, brother. Hope to see you soon. Real quick, Mama Clue, Budford 6306, Christine, no, Sean, Misha Dope, I think, Misha Dope, Shara Riggs, all you guys, again, 5 more out there. Welcome to the sauce. Love you guys. Appreciate having you here, and welcome to the family. Sorry, go ahead. I'm done. I promise.
All right, Dylan, you're up. You might as well give a parting shot, and then we'll close up as a group here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I did want to touch back on what one was asking me about with the fight that allegedly happened at the party, and it I mean, as I mentioned, as soon as Koberger's name dropped, nothing else mattered. Everybody dropped everything that they were doing and started building that narrative to Brian Koberger.
Yeah. They shut it down.
So what more than likely happened was that information came in after Koberger's name was dropped, and some are speculating if his name was dropped on day 2, day 3.
Well, there was something we just saw in here the other night, you guys, that popped up. Now, we don't know if this is fact for sure, but it came from a relatively, what I would call a reliable source, that that they had Brian Koberger's name on November 15th.
Right.
November 15th, okay? Now, again, if that's true, and right behind that statement that was made, Twiz was in here that night and said, what if they had his name before the murders even happened? These are all things to think about, once again, outside the box. So, again, just keep that stuff in mind, because we don't know what's right and wrong or true or false. We really don't. So, just saying, I wanted to add that in.
Yeah.
So nothing else, and we saw the whole shift in the police report, and you can see in the shift throughout the day in the body cam footage of they begin to kind of go into robotic. All right, this is the narrative, and this is where we're going. Kind of vibe, and it's just not police work. It's theater. This was an investigation. An investigation, yes, they would go and talk to everybody, but this was theater. This wasn't an investigation.
Yeah, and I tend to agree. A lot of times I feel in cases in America, once they've decided who did it, then they just make all the evidence fit it, and they do mind tricks and fuckery with the data, with the leaks to the press to make it look, again, to convict the person in the court of public opinion before they ever step foot in the trial for their first day of trial, to the point that they look, everybody already knows you're guilty. The whole nation's against you. The best thing you can do is accept a plea deal and learn your lumps. And I feel like that happens probably more often than we think personally, but that's me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was, that was the whole point of the leaks. They knew they had, they knew they were going to have a crap case.
Right. So they smeared him in the public opinion, got everybody in the nation saying, "Oh, that's got to be the guy. You got the right guy," and it worked. It worked great.
Well, it's working right now.
Yeah.
But oh my God, buckle up, grab your helmet. This summer is going to be wild.
You're a believer in the post-conviction relief filing is coming, right?
Oh, it's gonna be hitting this country like a wrecking ball on steroids.
Right. Yeah, I think that's the case. I got a lot of rumor mills that are coming from places that have inside sources that say it's coming, and I believe it will be coming. I think they have until August to file post-conviction relief. I think they have 1 year from the time of the sentencing. So I think that's got to be done before August. But yeah.
But yeah, I heard it was 2 years, but I could be wrong on that. But
Yeah,
yeah, it's but
I heard
obviously
1 year when I looked it up, but either way, so maybe it would. I want to confirm it because you're right. The timing matters. I think it's 1 year as of the date of the sentencing. So, but if it's 2 years, then maybe we won't hear it this summer. But we'll see.
There's different dates. There are different time allotments for different options. I think it is.
Right.
He has 2 years to do appeal in any form of appeal, but one of them is for I think after a year is what
Gotcha.
you're saying.
Yeah.
I think it's
sounds
right on
right.
both ends.
yeah, but he has an ability to appeal regardless if there's new evidence. Like you
Yes.
hear you hear a
If
Bloody
there's,
Murder
there's
shooting at
new
2:37.
exculpatory. Yep. Right. Well, I
Eh,
see. The thing is, I don't know that they're going to say that's exculpatory evidence, but if a PSI comes out and says Brian Koberger's phone wasn't in Moscow that night, that would be exculpatory evidence, and then we'd have a real problem. But
Yeah.
Well, you got
That's
the
that's
two
shut
big
it down.
things. You got the Syray, and then you also have Vargas from the IGG expert that was kind of like
Yeah, but
bad, you know.
I doubt we'll ever hear from her again though.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
that's true.
right,
That's
because
true.
the state has said we never the state once Vargas said don't use the DNA, if that's what we're talking about, the
Yes.
state said we don't intend to show DNA. We've got enough circumstantial evidence. They were never going to show the DNA in court, which is what pisses me off. The entire country thinks they got him on DNA. They weren't even going to show the DNA if it went to court because they knew the DNA was junk. But
Right.
yet still America's convinced they got him because he had his DNA at the scene. And yet again, remind you, Bill Thompson said I can't place Brian Koberger in the house. If they had his DNA in the house, they would have been able to place Brian Koberger in the house. But he said on the plea deal, we can't place him in the house.
And agreed. And as I've said more recently than not, I even actually question this DNA now. Okay, I fully, absolutely question the DNA now. Now that it's moved from where they told us it was conveniently.
Yep.
This has changed. That has changed. I don't even know that it's Brian. I'll just say that. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't even know that it's Brian, and
I-
that's my opinion.
I'm fully convinced it's planted. I mean,
Yeah. And,
I mean-
and again, that's what Ann Taylor was already hinting at, that look, just even have the DNA doesn't tell you how it got there. And she hinted that it was planted. The DNA had been planted, or the genealogy that placed him there was planted evidence, effectively placing him at the scene when he really shouldn't have been placed there through some fuckery of the IGG information. But
Somebody said, why did Bill Thompson even say that?
say which part that we
Probably
can't place him in the
because
house?
I believe so, and I'm going to venture to say that Bill Thompson said that because he knew that people weren't going to leave it alone. He had to kind of cover his own ass, in my opinion, for that. That's my opinion on why he said that.
Bill Thompson was I'm sorry, Dylan. Bill Thompson was supposed to retire after this, and I believe he
Yes.
stayed on because
He did.
I think he knew appeals were coming.
Yeah,
But
Mhm.
and I love another habit said that why he said can't place BK there. That's what I think it was. I think it was because he knew that people knew this, people were challenging it, and he had to make sure he covered his own backside, in my opinion. But just saying, and see, it does definitely seem counterintuitive, counteractive in so many different ways. I agree. But he did, because he has to show some honesty somewhere, because he's going to get called out on it, in my opinion. That's why.
all right, Dylan, give us a parting shot, and then we'll say goodnight to you and close up the show here.
yeah, I'll just add in, if we're able to get a hold of those logbooks that they told Lana didn't exist, of people coming in and out,
Be nice, wouldn't it?
and here's why I think they say that it didn't exist, because I think Bill Thompson got there before the Wicked Witch of Death, Kathy Mabbitt.
Oh yeah, it's certain.
He was there.
I'm almost certain he was there before she was. Yeah.
Yeah, and
He
actually,
told her to wait outside until he was done inside.
that's a good point you brought up before you finished that thought. When we watched the second video, Ashley went in twice. Explain to me why she went in there twice. Once without him and once with him. Anybody tell me why she was in there without him?
Yeah. And look, by the way, Dylan, I submitted paperwork to Bill Thompson's office, and I said, please show me the procedures that you work on crime scene investigation. Does the coroner go in first, or do you go in first? And how do you deal with the coroner's office? And they wrote back and said, we don't have any such procedures. So I said, can you put in writing that you have no procedures on how to handle a crime scene? And then they basically wrote back and said, if you disagree with this, you can sue us. You got 180 days. So they just basically told me to fuck off. We're not going to give you how we handle crime scenes because, you know, we're just not going to do it.
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah.
Here,
and go ahead, Dylan.
Well,
Sorry.
Here's the thing. With Bill Thompson going in before the coroner, that subjects the entire crime scene to be thrown out in court. On top of that, with the crime scene being renumbered.
And right. Payne renumbered what, 8 items or something like that? Or?
And that also is grounds for throwing everything out of the water, especially if it wasn't documented like it allegedly wasn't. So, so not only is Koberger going to have a case when we get through habeas corpus and this goes to federal, where Idaho doesn't control everything.
Right.
Yes, Christine.
And he's going to be able to walk on that. But it also, when you get to the back half of this, because I'm always thinking 7 steps ahead, you're not going to be able to use anything to get the actual killers.
Yeah.
Because none of it's going to be admissible in court because Bill Thompson is a complete moron and needs to be thrown in jail.
I agree with that.
That is a heavy parting shot. So thank you. I appreciate it. I think you couldn't have said a more poignant
shots fired.
Way out than
Shots
Bill
fired.
Thompson should be in jail. Thank you very much for coming on the show and show you tonight, Dylan. Appreciate your input. We're going to close up as a panel. I appreciate you. Come again, and we'll see you next time. All right, guys. Let's do a close, and I'm going to play us out when I finish my close with Murphy, because again, we talked about, you started it. You started talking about Murphy was over here, and then Murphy was over there, and then Murphy was supposed to be here, and I'm like, oh shit, it's Murphy the teleporting dog. We have to play us out with Murphy. Just after you said, you're like, man, we can only listen to Murphy so many times, but you brought it up. You went Murphy. All right, let's go. Robin, 1-1, Dago, and myself will close up and play us out with Murphy. Robin, you're up first.
Well, thank you one and all for coming out tonight. We appreciate it so very much. We're, of course, missing Logan, but I'm sure she'll be back tomorrow night. This is why the panel is designed as it is, so that we can kind of come and go as we need to. But for sure, whoever's here from her community, we're so glad that you joined us tonight as well. And if you're on the replay crew, you guys know we love you just as much and we appreciate your support. So thank you very much for that. And as always, this was a fascinating discussion. And really, thank you to our guests for coming up tonight, Moto Man and Dylan. We appreciate that very much. And I hope everyone out there has a wonderful rest of the night.
All right. Perfect close. All right. 1-1. What do you got for closing?
Thanks everyone for coming and having part of this conversation. Great discussion with Dylan and Moto Man. Thanks for popping up and engaging. It's hopefully that'll instill into other people to come up and we're not gonna bite your head off. It's interesting dialogue just to go down some different rabbit holes, and as Dago stated, like, it's kind of what you have to do here. Like, we have to try to figure out what the hell is going on. We do what we can with what we're given, but stuff just is not adding up. So something is awry. Thanks to our great mods, always backstage, all of the mods that are here, typically unique, and Leia's story, Amanda,
you're the one.
Yeah. Rhonda backstage, always helping with different stuff. We appreciate it. So love all of you guys and the channel. We wouldn't have a channel without the great members that keep joining each and every day. So we love you guys and keep showing the support. And I do hope that those of you who came yesterday, do like the John Bonet case. It's a little a show, a little different kind of show, kind of basically the same theme, but a little different spin on things when the boss gets his day off. So I hopefully you guys enjoy that, and we just like having you each and having these discussions. So I will leave you now. Give you my movie quote.
One sec. Thank you, Hildreth Motorsports,
Yeah.
for coming a member, and let's do them. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate that very much. It helps a lot.
Good
All right,
stuff,
give us some
Dylan.
movie.
All right,
movie
so
quote.
it's an early 2000s movie. So,
I'm out.
and most importantly, they showed us that no matter. Oh, whoops! Sorry, I meant to choose. I have two quotes. I wanted to read this other one first. Gentlemen, I have a very simple policy. What you shove up your ass is your own business. Larry's
Whoa.
heavyset. Is that kind of guy you've always been attracted to? Nah, he's my first fatty. You guys really seem like you have a lot of sexual chemistry. I float his boat and he sinks mine.
Wow.
No. I got nothing there, bud.
No.
All
clue.
right, I'll
That's
read
a,
the se-
that's
I'll
a
read the
spicy
second one.
meatball. All right, go for it.
Whoa.
And most importantly, they showed us that no matter whom we choose to love, be they heterosexual, homosexual, asexual, bisexual, trisexual, quadrisexual, pansexual, transsexual, omnisexual, or that thing where the chick ties the belt around your neck and tinkles on a balloon, it has absolutely nothing to do with who we are as people.
What?
The hell? I don't know, but I need to see the movie. Apparently. All right. What?
Amanda
Nope.
got
What is
it.
it?
Oh,
Amanda
I now
got it.
pronounce you. Oh shit, that's right. Okay, Kevin,
Yeah, Amanda got it.
James, and Adam Sandler. Right. Good movie.
Yes.
Chuck and Larry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Great
I
movie.
remember we watched
You have
it.
to
Yeah, that
watch
was
that,
good.
Lee.
I
If
just
you haven't
remember
seen
the
it,
quote.
I have
gotta
never
watch
seen
it.
it. Never.
Oh,
seen
dude,
it.
it's hilarious.
It's funny. It's a
It
good
is
movie.
hilarious.
I mean, any movie that has a belt around your neck tinkling on a balloon has got my attention already. I want to know what that's.
There you go.
I got to see that. All right. Well, thank you very much for the close. And on that note, Dago, what do you got for close?
Ow, I don't know. Real hard to follow that shit. Thank you guys as always for joining us tonight. This was a really great conversation, and I want to attribute that to Dylan and Amoto for jumping up here and engaging us tonight, guys. I'd love to see that happen. I love to see the interaction from all of you, and please, when we drop that link, please feel free, anybody, to jump up here and do the same. I really enjoy that. I love the interaction. You guys are all so very smart. And the questions, the thoughts, the feelings that you guys put out there are amazing, and we love it, truly and honestly. So, thank you guys so much for that. Thank you to the moderators for all you do, as always. Could not exist without you guys. Thank you to my production manager, my videographer, amazing stuff. I couldn't be here without that as well. Thank you to Mr. Lee, Miss Robin, a 1-1 as well. Always, thank you for having me here. It's always an honor to be able to do this, and I absolutely love you guys, and I appreciate being able to be here and doing this every night. The rest of you guys, as always, welcome, by the way, to all the new meatballs. Thank you for jumping in the sauce with us. We appreciate that so very much. Welcome to the family, guys. As always, guys, don't forget to love yourselves and love each other, and please don't change nothing, because you are absolutely the beautiful people. Have a great night. We'll see you soon.
All right. Thank you so much, panelists, for being part of this great show. And The guests were amazing tonight. I love it when we have
Yes.
respectful guests that can lead us into conversations. That was great. The whole thing was just a banger, in my opinion. And when we got talking about Murphy, I want to just say one more time, we have some gag music that we've made that kind of make fun of certain things, make light of certain things. This one's one of our lighter ones. Cat Farm did the music for it using some AI and some clever lyrics. By the way, that's a lot more her than AI in the sense that the lyrics, the timing, and all that stuff like that. So congratulations. Right. Thank you so much for doing those cool things. I'm going to play us out with Murphy, the Magical Teleporting Dog, and you guys will see us hopefully tomorrow night, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time at the same time. Have a great evening, everyone, and enjoy the music.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.
Whoa, shit.
That was quick.
How about I put that back?
Barking all night, but nobody hears. So far in the distance, then gradually nears. A fleeting encounter, then disappears. How did he leave? Did he fly with his ears? Murphy! He's a magical teleporting dog. It's Murphy! He's a cute and curly golden demigod. Not a mark on him, not a hair left behind. He's better behaved than all humankind. He'll clean up his paw prints for some bacon rind. Before you know it, he's gone. He's so streamlined. Murphy! He's a magical teleporting dog. It's Murphy! He's a cute and curly golden demigod. Traveling the universe through space and time. How do you do it? You're key to this crime. Are you here? Are you there? Are you anywhere or everywhere? Murphy! He's a magical teleporting dog. It's Murphy! He's a cute and curly golden demigod. You're such a good dog.